The second Obama election, I wrote a very backhanded endorsement of Obama, saying I thought he hadn't done the right thing, hadn't been good at the things that I think are important, and Romney would be a better person at doing that. But Romney did not stick with the values that he had when he was governor of Massachusetts.
That is Democratic candidate for president Michael Bloomberg calling his 2012 endorsement of former President Barack Obama, quote unquote, backhanded in newly resurfaced audio from a private event in 2016. Guess what? Rahm Emanuel is here. He's the former chief of staff for President Obama, the former mayor of Chicago as well, and author of the new book, The Nation City, Why Mayors Are Now Running the World. Mr. Mayor, great to have you.
Thanks, Ed.
So Michael Bloomberg spending all this money. Some of the ads are about how he's buddies, he's besties with Barack Obama, and all this new audio comes out. He's saying bad stuff behind closed doors. What's going on with this guy?
One view here is I would just say, look, Mike Bloomberg, he has this comment. He's going to have to defend it. Bernie may get asked about the idea that he wanted to primary Barack Obama. If you go back about 7 debates, as you remember, one of the big uproars was the fact that almost every candidate was throwing Barack Obama under the bus. So a lot of them have to explain, well, given that the former president, not just with Democrats is at 95%, is well received among the country as a whole. His policies advanced on both climate change, health care, economic stability, which is, you remember, Ed, because you were covering it. The country was close to one of the worst, it was in the worst recession and near depression, what he did to save the auto industry. So when you look at all of it, I think all of them came to the idea late. The idea of attacking the former president is really popular in the Democratic, not exactly what the way to the nomination.
But your book is all about mayors getting things done. Here's Michael Bloomberg, ran this big city here in New York, and then he comes out to the first debate completely unprepared. What's going on with this campaign?
Well, first of all, he's been off the campaign field. 2 things I would observe. One, he's been off the campaign trail, and it showed. Just running around to the Aspen Institute to be applauded doesn't get you ready for what is, this is the NBA. And if you can't handle the debate stage, trust me, the Oval Office isn't easier. Number 2, I would say on this whole case is I talk about mayors, and it's the center of gravity where government and people believe. When you think about where you live, where you work, where you play, schools, services, from transportations, local government mayors are the ones that deliver that. The former mayor of London, prime minister now. Today's field has 3 mayors, no governors. More mayors running for president at any time in the country.
But guess what? The guy in the lead right now, the front runner for your party.
Former mayor of Burlington.
Former mayor, but he's a socialist Democrat, right? And front page story of New York, of the Washington Post today about all these past comments praising communist leaders. He's doubling down today on supporting Fidel Castro, the former Cuban dictator. Is your party ready to put up somebody who supported communists?
I mean, look, he's going to have to answer this. This is what, in my view, was malpractice in Vegas. Everybody was angry and hitting on Mike Bloomberg, whose name wasn't even on the ballot. The guy that was on the ballot and who was the front runner, you left unscathed. Take an issue, you guys on this channel at least have a different view, which is having done the assault weapon ban and the Brady bill for the President Clinton. Here's a guy, 2 years ago in Vegas, worst mass shooting in American history, has the support of the NRA, and nobody touched him about where he was on the assault.
Michael Bloomberg had the opportunity and whiffed on
Everybody did. And so here's what I would say. You've had 6 national elections. The Democrats since 1992 have won the majority, building a suburban and urban coalition. Bill Clinton, both elections. Barack Obama, both elections. The 06 congressional and the 2018. Why you would take that playbook that has succeeded not once, 6 times, throw it out and try something not center-left, but just left.
That's what I want to get at.
Makes no sense.
You mentioned I covered you when you were White House Chief of Staff, and in Congress.
No, you covered the president.
I covered the president, but you were there. You were along for the ride.
I try to block you. Let's be really clear.
But in all seriousness, you were trying to move the party to be more moderate. Now you've got a socialist Democrat. It's not just him. On that stage, benefits for illegal immigrants. They raised their hand. Are you worried about the future of your party?
I think I'm worried more about the future of the country. I think that Democrats have shown how to win. I think we're being reckless with taking that success. And there's a real argument here. And let me back up. I'm breaking myself mid-sentence. One view is the country's dramatically changed since 1992. The other argument is we've had 6 successful elections where we won national elections, both presidential and congressional. There are 3 Democrats in the last 100 years, presidents, who've won re-election. Roosevelt, Clinton, and Obama. Only 2 of them are alive. Why we would take their playbook both on winning and ousting somebody tells me that we have not learned any of the lessons.
You dedicate this book to your late father, and you're a proud Jewish American. And yet Bernie Sanders is now saying
You know, that's
He
a
won't
cheap
go-
shot. You're going with my father to go after Bernie Sanders.
You're right. I'm using your dad.
That's really cheap,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, I know you're teasing
You just
me.
lost your journalism
In
degree.
all seriousness, you dedicate this book to your father,
Yeah.
and Bernie Sanders is calling the folks at AIPAC bigots.
Yeah.
You used to speak there when you were a Democratic leader in Congress. Is your party ready to nominate somebody who calls the folks at AIPAC bigots?
Look, I mean, I've disagreed with AIPAC, okay? I don't think you should.
But you don't call them bigots.
No, but I don't think they should also determine Americans' foreign policy in the Mideast or Israel. I've disagreed with them
But
on
is a
policy.
Democratic Socialist going to lead foreign policy for your party?
Here's what I think, is that AIPAC has a voice, and that's the democratic process. It doesn't represent all the Jewish community. My father, when he passed away at the funeral, he kept a postcard downstairs. That postcard was a picture of the boat that brought him to this country. And it was a reminder to all of us how fortunate we were to be born here, raised here, and to make the most of it. And he was proud of one other thing, that America embraced a Jewish family and allowed it without restrictions to achieve the highest of goals in both
And you
medicine.
write emotionally about him as your mentor. We appreciate Rahm Emanuel.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in. Good luck with the book.